Valley for this Wednesday, the fifth day of September 2018. What are you doing?
Messing with my earpiece here.
I'm Dan Kuntz. He's Steve Hare. Cat in control. And before we head on down the road for another hour of quality entertainment and informational television, our top story today, Steve Hare found his glasses.
Yeah. You know where they were?
Under your desk?
Actually, they were in my backpack. Well, I usually put my coffee in a side pocket. And I've been looking all over for those glasses for the past 3 days. I went without them for the holiday, but so I pulled my coffee cup out of my backpack, and these come tumbling out.
Oh, there you go.
So there they were.
Anybody who wears glasses, and I don't wear them on television, but I wear glasses, when you can see everything close to you clear, but everything far away is fuzzy, is called farsightedness, I guess. I don't know. So I have to wear glasses like when I golf. When I drive, I'm supposed to wear glasses. I have one of those little things on my license that says, you know, you have to wear your glasses when you operate an automobile.
Well, as you notice, the font on all of my scripts are pretty
big
large.
fonts.
So
We're a big fan of that.
That's right.
Good show for you today. You notice I'm wearing my Apple Blossom shirt, and you notice we have an apple here. You know what that means?
Hey, festival day.
Darci is in the house. Darci Christoferson.
Our little ray of sunshine.
Yeah, lots to talk about. We haven't seen Darci since basically they wrapped up the festival back in the middle of May. Darci kind of paid us a visit to wrap up the 99th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. And coming up now, we got the 100th, the centennial.
Oh boy.
And there's a lot to talk about with Darci. They got some new digs. They haven't moved. They just improved where they were at. They're getting ready to do the centennial, the 100th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. The big royalty auction is coming up next month. We got a full plate of stuff with Darci coming up.
Oh boy.
Sports. Mariners in serious trouble, buddy.
Not only that, but there's discord in the clubhouse.
Yeah, boy, I guess they had some sort of, it was kind of like our weekly staff meeting here at the NCW Life Channel. They closed the door, there was some fisticuffs and some shoving. And some,
Dee Gordon and Gene Segura got into it apparently over Gordon's error that he made the previous night.
Oh, I didn't see this, I didn't know about. So
Dropped a fly ball apparently, and there was, I guess all the reporters before the game, they were in the clubhouse, you know, and then Dee Gordon asked them all to leave. The doors were shut, and then the scuffle began.
And then they went out and lost to the worst team in baseball.
Yeah.
There's just a few weeks left in baseball's regular season, and the Mariners, who were in first place back in June, they're struggling.
More things change, the more they remain the same for the Mariners.
We'll talk about that when we get to sports. Also, the obscure holiday. Today in history, everyone is entitled to Mike Minardi's opinion. We got some birthdays for you. And of course, as we mentioned, Darci Christoferson, the administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, will be joining us. You ready to go around the valley?
I think so, but first of all, I don't know if you want to share this little piece of information on our neighbor
across the street. Yeah, let's go ahead and show that.
I was going to say, the new owners of the old federal building, namely Local-Tel and soon the city of Wenatchee. You may have seen this old fountain that has not been in use since that building was first built. Now, when was that? Back in the 60s?
73 was when it opened, yeah.
Well, that old fountain now is being brought back to life by the new owners of the federal building, so they were pouring the concrete out there this morning, so I grabbed some shots of that while they were busy at work, so it's going to be a nice little addition.
You know, if the concrete, what's the difference between concrete and cement?
You tell me. I don't know. Mafia knows.
Mafia knows, yeah. Did they see Jimmy Hoffa out there at all?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
But what if it's still wet at 8 o'clock? Let's go over and like put our face in it like Roma's Chinese Theater or handprints or something.
Oh, yeah, put some handprints in there. That'd be nice, yeah.
That'd be a great idea. So there they are working hard. So that's all we got. We now return to Sights and Sounds already in progress. I'm kidding. Now let's go around the valley with our Valley View cameras.
There they are.
And this is our new camera. We were going to have this up and running yesterday. It's been up and running since Friday, but it wasn't working yesterday. That is our cross camera, Steve, but it's a 4K camera now.
High def.
Yeah, high def. I'm sorry, Kat. Still working out some bugs on it, so we got some work to do with it. But that's a 4K camera now, so it's going to be higher quality photos and video that you're going to see. That's a live shot. You see the haze. You see the smoke. We're going to be dealing with a little bit of that today. Right now, Steve, I should mention this right now, the Wenatchee Valley is at 120 on the air quality index, and that is unhealthy for sensitive groups. And up in Chelan, you're at 151, which is just plain unhealthy. We're going to have a little bit of smoke in your forecast. That's coming up in just 2 or 3 minutes. Camera 2, according to Kat, we're going to pay a visit to, well, the American flag. That's number 2 Canyon. Okay.
Looking southeast?
Yep, looking down to the valley there. That's a good idea of how hazy and smoky it is right now. You can smell it. It's not real bad,
Pungent, no.
but you can certainly smell it when you walk out the door. It's there. And most of this, of course, is still, as we mentioned before, the Cougar Creek fire is still the Cougar Creek fire. It's pretty much contained, but it still has to burn on the interior. And you have some footage of that just to prove that, you know, as we mentioned before yesterday, containment and being out are two entirely different things. Indeed. Camera
They'll
3.
be burning until the first snow flies.
That is the Apple Annie's camera high up above the ridge. Apple Annie's is right below you. You can't quite make it out. You can make out, oh, we're going to move it. Wee-hee!
A little pan here.
you
Oh,
go.
hey, Cat.
You can
It's
see
nice.
the old treetop facility and all the way down, looking down towards the Wenatchee Valley. And a little pan up from there. So the Wenatchee Valley is on your left-hand side of your screen. You can see the heights around the monitor area, the orchards, everybody hanging around, ready to get going on this Wednesday.
Look at
although it
those
feels like
dry
a Tuesday.
hillsides there in
Yeah.
the foreground. I'll
They
tell
are
you,
very
it's still
dry.
very, very fire prone.
Remember, we had a fire in that area in October of last year. You remember that? It burned right up to one of our Sky-Fi cameras.
right.
Right to the camera site. Camera 3. Oh, I'm sorry, camera 4. I've lost track already. And that is beautiful
Lake
Lake
Wenatchee.
Wenatchee. It's our Two Rivers camera. We can move these cameras, of course, about 345 degrees. That last 15 degrees, Steve doesn't count because there's the support poles
Yeah.
and the guy wires and things like that. See, Cat's even playing with that a little bit. So beautiful Lake Wenatchee, which is gorgeous this time of the year. Late September, early October, I highly recommend going to Lake Wenatchee.
Beautiful area.
So, although they don't have a sockeye fishing season this year.
Just
they
make
have
sure
in
you
years
got
past.
the mosquito repellent.
It's not that they're gone now. This time of the year, they're toast. Yeah. Besides, they spray all over Lake
That's
Wenatchee.
true, that's true.
Yeah, a lot of the homeowners get together and they have all that stuff sprayed. So, it's 7 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley from the National Weather Service. Here's your forecast. 84 our forecast high today. Don't know if we're going to get there because as this has happened in August, when we have smoke and haze, it kind of acts as a filter for the sun. Yesterday's high was 79, and we were supposed to get to 84 yesterday. So I'm thinking right around 80, 81, but that's just about normal for this time of year. 62 for the overnight low. It's 54 right now. Not bad at all on Thursday, and then a breezy cold front comes in Friday. Not going to bring us a great deal of a chance of rain until we get late into the weekend, maybe spilling over into Monday and Tuesday. Just the slightest chance of some light showers Monday night, and Tuesday. We could use it, but you can see a considerable cool down. Starts on Saturday with a high of 80, then we go down to 79 and then 75 as this breezy cold front comes in to pay us a visit. So not bad at all for the next couple of days, but we were going to be dealing with some smoke. In fact, I have a graphic to show you, Steve. This is today's smoke movement. You can see they have two fires to keep an eye on, the Crescent Fire up near Omak, Okanagan, and the fire up in British Columbia.
Boy, that's
And that
huge.
wind's going to bring the smoke down with us. It's going to move south. The worst air quality, they say, today is going to be in the Omak, Okanagan, Twisp, and Methow Valley areas. You're going to be dealing with some pretty nasty smoke there. Could spill all the way down into Chelan, who's already at 151, which is unhealthy. We're going to have some of that, but not a lot of it today in the Wenatchee Valley. Today is going to be the smokiest day of the week, it looks like. Wind's going to change a little bit of direction on Thursday and Friday. It's actually going to go the other way, as a matter of fact. What little wind we have, wind today 5 to 7, then the easterly wind 6 tonight, 6 tonight. So it's going to be fairly calm winds, really for the foreseeable future. And no real rain, and we need rain. Boy, do we need rain.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We could use just a nice light all-day sprinkle. We don't need a deluge. That would be bad because we got some loose, the hillside.
Oh yeah,
Stuff like
especially
that.
over in the East Wenatchee area.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
wouldn't want that, but we would
Denuded.
we want a nice light drizzle for about a day and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Would be just about perfect. There isn't any in the forecast. It's 9 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick break. Steve Harrell will be back with the news in 1 minute. The news is brought to you by Cascade Medical. Train with a physical therapist who loves the outdoors as much as you do. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
The NCW Live Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV, Street Talk and Other Stuff, the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good morning and welcome back to our program. Again, here's some of the news that we're following in North Central Washington on this Wednesday, September 5th. First of all, to lead things off, we do have updated information for you this morning on yesterday's crash in the McNeil Canyon of Douglas County involving a fully loaded tractor-trailer rig that plunged down a 100-foot embankment, trapping the driver inside that cab. It took several hours for emergency crews to extricate the man from the tangled wreckage at the bottom of that ravine. The severely injured driver was transported by a team of firefighters and emergency medical staff from the bottom of that canyon to an ambulance. From there, transported about a quarter mile to a waiting life flight helicopter that transported him to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee. At last report, the driver, identified as a 43-year-old Kennewick man, was reported to be in critical condition. Fire crews arrived on the scene in just over 5 minutes after the initial call. In fact, that truck was on fire. When crews arrived, they quickly put that out. They were assisted from units from Orondo Fire, Chelan Fire Rescue, Mansfield, Lake Chelan Community Hospital. Their EMS responded, as well as a life flight helicopter. Douglas County Sheriff, the Washington State Patrol, Douglas County Transportation and Land Services all combined on the scene to conduct an investigation and do traffic control. But good teamwork got that driver freed from the wreckage, and he's now recovering, but in critical condition at Confluence Health here in Wenatchee. Also from yesterday, if work or pleasure means traveling over Blewett Pass next week, Highway 97, you're going to have to change those plans, folks. Beginning at 9 o'clock Sunday evening, September 9th, the road will close for 5 days while contractor crews working for the Washington State Department of Transportation replace 3 culverts under the highway. Highway 97 will be closed from Mineral Springs Campground to Swak Creek, with an average of over 6,100 vehicles crossing Blewett Pass each day. Travelers will need to use alternate routes such as Interstate 90 or US 2. There will be no detours available around that work zone. It's going to be completely closed in both directions. Work began this week, which means, if necessary, both directions of US 97 will alternate through a single lane during the daytime hours, with delays up to 20 minutes expected this week. They're preparing for that job next week, so again, prepare for that Blewett Pass closure starting at 9 p.m. Sunday evening. Also, Chelan County PUD right now considering a new long-term 15-year fisheries contract with the Yakima Nation. PUD commissioners yesterday took it up at their board meeting. The PUD and the tribe have had an agreement for the past 10 years to conduct a pilot program for the reintroduction of coho salmon into the Rock Island and Rocky Reach reservoirs. Under the agreement, the Yakima Nation will continue its work to reestablish naturally spawning coho populations in the mid-Columbia tributaries to biologically sustainable levels, also to provide significant harvest in most years. Now, the 15-year cost of the program totals $9.7 million. Proposed contract provides for the PUD to join the BPA, the Bonneville Power Administration, along with the Grant and Douglas County PUDs to provide for the reintroduction of that coho stock. Also, containment is now at 71% as things start to wind down on the Cougar Creek fire. Commanders have revised the acreage burned in the fire to 42,000 acres. They reported Tuesday that crews were working to address active fire areas along the unsecured north flank of the fire, particularly near Mad River and Signal Peak. Now, the line has been completed along the western perimeter, except for a small area near Sugarloaf Peak, where we see the historic U.S. Forest Service Fire Lookout Station, which has now been protected with foil wrap. Managers say the wildfire continues to burn the 1994 Tyee fire scar. Fuel types across that fire area include lodgepole pine, mixed conifer stands. You can see some of that dead timber there laying on the ground from the Tyee fire from back in 1994. Various age classes and dense fields of lodgepole regeneration in that older fire scar, which contains numerous snags and heavy, dead, and downed trees. Now, the southern and eastern areas of the fire area are now secure, as denoted there by those black lines around the fire. Firefighters are conducting mop-up, backhaul, and some repair work in those areas as well. Also learned as of yesterday at noon, Chelan County Emergency Management had lifted all evacuation levels throughout that fire area, so that's good news. And finally, the ranks of firefighters battling the Cougar Creek fire includes a crew from down under. They shared some interesting perspectives and comparisons of the different tactics used in the United States versus Australia when it comes to fighting wildfires.
What are the most interesting things that you've seen while here in the United States?
Most interesting thing is, I suppose, the countryside. So it's totally different to what we experience in Australia.
When I went through the redwoods down in California, those trees are massive. Yeah, unbelievable.
The very large air tankers, the VLATs, they're amazing. Like how big they are and how low they fly and all the retardant they drop. They were really interesting to see.
The most interesting things I've found has been the wildlife.
Oh, I'd have to say all your wildlife that we don't have back in Australia.
Birds.
And all the wildlife was amazing too.
Deer.
I was going for dinner and seeing the bear sign, that there was a bear in campsite.
Bears, deers, elks, chipmunks,
bighorn sheep.
One of the things I have noticed is with the squirrels, we call them squirrels at home, but around here everyone's calling them timber tigers.
Can you give us a little lesson on Australian terminology?
Oh, we say g'day, how you going? Or how they hanging?
Probably bloke is, for Australian, and Sheila for woman.
I get along great with the crews. They're all, a bunch of fellas, as we say back in Australia, although that means chainsaw operators over here.
Okay, well, you guys say porta potty, I think it is. Back home, it's a dunny can.
Well, we were talking about the dunny, which is our slang term for a toilet.
When you want to shift a bulldozer or an excavator at home, we put it on a float, but here it's called a lowboy.
Well, we call our money different things, like a tanner is a 10, a pineapple is a 50. It's based on their colours. A lobster is a 20 because it's bright orange.
Ute is a pickup truck.
So you have a cooler where you have your drinks and sandwiches and things like that. In Australia we call it an esky. So that was a difference when we were asking, where's the esky for the ice? We certainly got some puzzled looks.
We don't have snags on our fireground because a snag is a sausage.
I'm just confused. Just confused about what they're talking about.
What are some of the terms we hear on the fireground that make us laugh?
Because a lot of time people look at me and go, what the hell did you just say?
Al Lawson with Northwest Team 10. On behalf of the Northwest teams and Team 10, I'd like to thank our Australian friends for their commitment and helping out with the Northwest fires this year.
In addition, that was the edited version of that video that InsoWeb shared with us. Interesting that they were talking about the different tactics they use in Australia versus the United States when they're fighting wildfires, and they were saying that in Australia they don't do the direct attack as much as they do in the United States. They pretty much they establish their containment and then they work towards getting them towards those containment lines, which is similar to here, but they say they're a lot more aggressive in direct attack on a fire in the United States than they are in the Australia outback.
I could go for an esky full of Fosters about now.
Oh boy! Yeah, then you'll make a quick trip to the dunny.
Yeah. Thank you to our friends in Australia, who, by the way, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago when we were up in the Chelan area, and I talked to a lot of really cool people up there. Most of them were based and were spending their money in the Chelan area, because Chelan went through a little bit of a down period, economic-wise, certainly with their outdoor recreation folks, when Chelan was really dealing with that thick, nasty smoke for that 2-week period. But some of that was offset by the fact that the Australian firefighters were up there spending money
Yeah.
They were going to the coffee shops and the restaurants, and they were putting them up in hotels and things like that. So it helped a little bit.
It did.
So.
And there were some cases where, a group of firefighters would go into a restaurant to have a meal, and it would be paid for by somebody.
That's cool.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
Yeah. I do that.
Or a way of showing thanks
Yes.
to the work you do.
It's 20 minutes after the hour, 54 degrees on our high, lower 80s, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of haze today. Chelan, watch out, you're going to be kind of smoky. So the Twisp area, the Medhow area, and the Omak and Okanagan area, kind of a smoky day today, not nearly as bad as it was a couple weeks ago. The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. We're almost back to a full staff. We were pretty light yesterday. A lot of people were taking some time off or just weren't feeling particularly well. But we're almost back. So Grant will have the news. Eric will have the sports. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock right here on this very television station. Available on demand at ncwlife.com late in the afternoon. Available on demand on our Facebook page as well. And those are two of the many tools you can use to get a hold of us, Steve Hare.
Website, always, we're available. Just click the little contact tab at the top of the page and give us your ideas on news stories, or if you have an event or program you want us to help promote, hey, that's the place to do it. ncwlife.com, you can do it at our email address. The address is news@ncwlife.com. Talk to us on Facebook and Twitter, and we have a breaking news hotline as well at 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL for breaking news.
Still to come, sports, including results from high school volleyball and soccer last night. The Mariners are in serious playoff trouble, no question about that. We also have the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion, and Darci Christoferson will be dropping by in the second half of the program. It's a busy Wednesday. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Live Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Live channel.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Wednesday. I'm Dan Kuntz. Sports, the Wenatchee High School girls soccer team started their home schedule yesterday in a nice little 6-1 victory over Cascade. Ed Lieb off the field at the Apple Bowl, leading the way with 2 first-half goals. Katie Springer also with a couple of tallies. Amanda Schneider finding the back of the net in the second half with a goal each. Jaden Griggs and Yoreli Sanchez Blanco. The lone goal for the Kodiaks came in the first half by True Merriman. And the other soccer yesterday, as you see there, Kashmir, no problems with Ellensburg on the pitch. The final 7-0. Indoors we go for some volleyball results. Cascade topped Wenatchee's Valley. The final 4-1 at Freda edged Kashmir 3-2, and Manson shut out Antioch 3-0. Well, our first broadcast of high school soccer tomorrow night will be at Wildcat Stadium in beautiful East Wenatchee. The Eastmont Wildcats host the Kashmir Bulldogs. Non-league game. Eric Granstrom will be there. Matt Wiesen, our good friend, will be there as well for the play-by-play and the color. Our pregame begins at 6:50. They'll start the game at 7 o'clock sharp, and you can watch it right here on the NCW Live channel. Well, they split that weekend series with the A's, and so the Seattle really needing a sweep of the Baltimore Orioles, one of the worst teams in baseball, if they have any chance of making the playoffs, and that hope seems to be dwindling. Players got into a clubhouse scuffle before last night's game in Baltimore. Did you hear about this? On the field, the Mariners bullpen squandered a 1-0 lead. They allowed 4 runs in the top of the 4th inning. Baltimore goes on to beat Seattle 5-3. Adam Warren gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, including a solo home run in the 7th to blow the save and take the loss. It spoiled a great outing for Wade LeBlanc. Wade LeBlanc with 6 innings of scoreless ball, 6 hits, 4 strikeouts. Now, while manager Scott Service would not talk about the pregame scuffle in the clubhouse, he thought his team would show a little fire on the field.
I thought our guys are ready to play. Quite frankly, I thought we would come out and,
really get after it early. I thought, with Robbie hitting the home run early, that might, spark us and get it going. But again, Cobb was using both sides of the plate really well, tied up some right-handed hitters when you start looking out over the plate, and he threw the ball really well.
Baltimore's Alex Cobb allowed just the home run to Robinson Cano in 6 innings during his 5th win against 15 losses. Service said he was disappointed in the 7th inning and the continuing problem with his team not generating enough offense.
We didn't get much going. Obviously, Robbie hit the home run off him early. Really didn't get much traffic or put much pressure on him after that. You're hanging by a thread in a 1-0 game, and hopefully you can get through it. But it wasn't the case. The 7th inning got away from us, and a couple crazy plays. You're down in the game. The tag play there at second with the rundown, and them adding on a run there. But offensively tonight was a struggle again. It's been a common theme here. You try different things, you try to get guys going in different ways. Just haven't been able to get it done here recently. It's been a struggle the last 2-3 games.
Two teams will play the rubber game of this 3-game series tonight. 7:10 first pitch. Seattle will go with Mike Leake. Baltimore will go with Andrew Kashner. Well, the Mariners lost last night. It really stings because Oakland fell at the hands of the Yankees as we head to the Les Schwab scoreboard. Luke Voigt homered for the 3rd consecutive game. He had a solo shot off the A's Fernando Rodney. New York rallies for a 5-1 win. The Yankees lead in the wildcard race is now 4.5 over Oakland. The A's lead Seattle in the final wildcard spot is still 5.5 games. Houston's lead in the American League West is now 3.5. The Astros down Minnesota 5-2. Justin Verlander earning his 14th win, struck out 8 over 7 innings. And Elvis Andrus and Adrian Beltre homered to back Mike Minor on the mound. Texas beat the Angels. The final was 4-2. It's 27 minutes after the hour and a slightly smoky as you see Wednesday morning. I'm Dan Kuntz. Looks like the traffic's flowing pretty good over the Senator George Seller Bridge. And hopefully these people who are on their way to work or whatever it is aren't going to be late, because today is Be Late for Something Day. Yeah, we set aside September 5th, the perfect excuse to be late. It's a holiday created by the Procrastinators Club of America. Take a break from your daily busy schedule. Now, we all know somebody, mostly it's coworkers, sometimes not, but for the most part, it's coworkers who just can't seem to get the thing done on time, or they're always just a little late to whatever it is that they need to do. But there is some positives for being late. For one thing, you're not rushing, which is supposed to be a good thing. You're stopping and smelling the roses. So for today's obscure holiday, be late just to something, to one thing, as long as it doesn't affect anybody else. I mean, if you're going to purposely be late for an appointment, let the people know in advance that you're going to be late for the appointment, because that's rude. Be late for something day today. I suppose just sleeping in an extra 50 seconds qualifies, does it not? I was late waking up. For all you procrastinators out there, it's 28 minutes after the hour. Today in history, 4 events that caught my eye. September 5th, 1666, 352 years ago, the Great Fire of London finally came to an end. It burned for about 5 days, 10,000 buildings destroyed, but there were only 6 known fatalities. Now remember, this was 352 years ago. The odds are pretty good that other people died. Either their bodies were completely consumed by the flames or whatever the case may be. In the Great Fire of London, and every major metropolitan city in the world has had a great fire at one point or another. 13,200 houses, 87 churches, St. Paul's Cathedral, the original one, burned to the ground. Most of the buildings burned to the ground. There were 80,000 people who lived in London in 1666, and about 70,000 of them ended up homeless after the Great Fire of London, which finally came to an end on this date 352 years ago. Happy anniversary to Labor Day, kind of. September 5th, 1882, 136 years ago, the very first Labor Day parade, they don't have those anymore, but the very first Labor Day parade was held in New York City. 5 years later, Oregon became the first state to make it an official public holiday, the first Monday in September. By the time it became a federal holiday in 1894, 30 states in this country had already officially celebrated or observed Labor Day, but they don't do Labor Day parades anymore. I think most people just want to kick back and barbecue and goof off. Happy birthday to Labor Day, in a way, September 5th, 1882. September 5th, 1972, 46 years ago. I remember watching this on TV. The Munich massacre, a Palestinian terrorist group calling themselves Black September, attacks and take hostages 11 Israeli athletes at their village in Munich during the Olympic Games. 2 of the Israeli athletes were killed during the initial raid. The 9 other remaining hostages were killed the following day, and it was broadcast live on nationwide television during the Munich Olympic Games. Happened on this date 46 years ago today. And September 5th, 1975, 43 years ago today, Lynette Squeaky Fromm, a member of the Manson family, attempted to assassinate the President of the United States, Gerald Ford. It was unsuccessful. The gun was loaded, but the chamber wasn't, and she did that on purpose. They found that out during the trial. She said, well, I just wanted to scare him, so she had a gun, no bullet in the chamber. They actually found the bullet on the floor of her apartment after they investigated. Lynette Squeaky Fromm was sentenced to life in prison. She was paroled on August 14th, 2009, and currently she lives in upstate New York. And finally, at 31 minutes after the hour, let's do some birthdays. Legendary American outlaw Jesse James, born in this state in 1847, shot to death by Robert Ford at the age of 34 back in 1882. There was always a rumor that Jesse James staged his own assassination so he could move underground and kind of live out the rest of his life. It got so out of control that finally, about 10 years ago, they dug up Jesse James's body and did a DNA test and said, no, he's Jesse James. Jesse James, to many people, is a hero. To many other people, he's a scoundrel. What you think of him is what you think of him. I can tell you he was born in this state in 1847 and probably met the end he deserved. Jesse James. Bob Newhart is 89 years old today. I remember listening to the button-down mind of Bob Newhart and all those comedy albums in the early 1960s. That was his breakthrough. He, of course, in the Bob Newhart Show, and then Newhart. He was in Elf, of course. Bob Newhart, legendary comedian, is 89 years old today. Raquel Welch, 78 years old today. Playboy magazine, in their 2000 edition, named her the second sexiest person in the world in the 20th century. I don't know. She's 78 years old today, the actress and the singer. I know horror stories about Raquel Welch that I can't tell on television. And Freddie Mercury, the leader of Queen, was born in the state in 1946, died of AIDS in 1991 at the age of 41. Singer, songwriter, producer, very talented guy. Freddie Mercury, born in the state in 1946. And our very own 3M, Megan McPherson. There she is. There's Megan. Celebrates a birthday today. Not going to tell you how old Megan is. I know. I'm just not going to say. Happy birthday, 3M, from your television family. 33 minutes after the hour. Everybody is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. And then my friend and yours, Darci Christoferson, here to talk Apple Blossom again. It's time to ramp up for the 100th edition of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Darci's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Hi everyone, Brent. Hey, don't mind, we're just making a commercial here, Randall. You're okay. Hi everyone, Brent here. Jeez. You're gonna love this. When you see this, come down and see us behind Nissan. I can do it. I can do it. The all-new 2018 Nissan. That's done, I'm done. We can't do it. Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee. Better performance, better...
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
You can buy fruit almost anywhere. From first off the tree to first in your hands, Lone Pine offers seasonal fruit from their farm and around the region every day. Make Lone Pine your latte stop with coffee from Blue Star Coffee Roasters and a fresh piece of fruit pie. Take a break with a friend and order a cold micro beer or a glass of Northwest wine. Bring the whole family and enjoy a Lone Pine lunch or a fresh shake in their park-like setting. Lone Pine Fruit and Espresso on Highway 97.
Looking for a hands-on, high-demand job? Now is the perfect time to get trained for a career in manufacturing. Washington currently has a shortage of skilled tradespeople, and retirements are making room for more. The machining program at Wenatchee Valley College is designed to give students the foundation to excel in this precision industry. Don't wait, there are only 15 spots left. A 2-year degree and a 1-year certificate are available. Learn more at wvc.edu/machining.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I sometimes see on Facebook posts about pictures of police officers in full SWAT gear and the like, stating that these officers are heroes, men and women of courage, and they are. Hey, no doubt, believe me. But a lot of that, if I may say so, is just sometimes macho posing. Not in any way to show disrespect to those involved in the aggressive and potentially violent side of police work, but there's another side of police heroism. Those cops who deal with wounded victims, very often children. Wounds that are not physical, but instead emotional and psychological. It's these interactions with the most vulnerable members of our society which caused cop-turned-author Joseph Wumbaugh to say that it's the emotional and psychological stressors of these kind of contacts that make police work the world's most dangerous profession. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
This is State Representative Kerry Condata inviting you to watch our new and improved 12th District 2.0 show. Now featuring more information on federal, state, and local issues in a leaner, faster format. Guest hosts John Wise and Shiloh Shower bring it all home with yours truly, Kerry Condata. Why do we call it 2.0? Because just like me, it's the stronger, faster, and lighter version of today's politics. Also available on demand at ncwlife.com.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh, and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Wednesday. I am Dan Kuntz. The party never ends when Darci Christoferson pays us a visit. And by golly, that's what we call a segue in the world of television. My guest today, making her very first appearance ever on this program, is the festival administrator at the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, Darci Christoferson. You were actually on the very first week of this program.
I think so.
Yeah, way
I
back
think
in
it was,
the
yeah.
way out of back in black and white. It was a long, long time ago.
I think I was.
So, hi, Darci.
Hi.
Haven't seen you since.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Haven't seen, it's their new year for the Apple Blossom Festival.
Yes.
Haven't seen you since May.
Yeah,
Didn't you come
it
in
would
like
have
a
been-
couple weeks after the festival was
Yeah.
over? Kind of put the ribbon on it.
Yep, it would have been the end of the festival, the end of the month to recap the 99th. Now we're on to the 100th festival.
Woo.
So
First of all, how's your summer going? You girls were busy. Lots going on in the office.
we had a lot going on in the office. We were blessed by the city of Wenatchee to get new paint and new carpet. So you know how remodels are. You think it's going to be a 3-week project and it ends up being a 3-month project. So a big thank you to the city of Wenatchee and the staff that did it all. So we have new carpet, thanks to Floor Factory.
Of course, you know the Sparks would jump in on that.
Yes,
yeah.
they did. New paint, we got new lighting, some new furniture. Those of you that come into our office all the time, you remember our mint green and pink furniture. That's all gone. So
Wait a minute, I love 1979.
yeah,
it was a
it
great
totally
year.
was 1979. So it just, we needed it, and the stairs are getting done today, so I'm kicked out of the office today for the last time. I've been kicked out off and on all summer, so it'll be nice to be there full time.
The historic Carnegie Building is the perfect location.
It is.
For
It
your
is.
office.
It's a perfect location, and you know, I don't even know the last time there was any remodel done. Well, when we moved in 12 years ago, we did get new carpet and new paint, but it's nice to have this refresher. So now they'll be working on the outside a little bit. I know they're going to at least paint the trim a white, so it'll match Caldwell Banker Building, and then of course the new Firefly Building. So we gotta be just as good as everybody else.
And that's an exciting project.
Oh, I know, it's so much fun
Yeah,
watching
to see
it.
the old
It'll
Rose
be-
Mansion being turned into something cool.
That block's going to look really cool.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Is it me, and correct me if I'm wrong, you moved into the Carnegie Building 12 years ago, renting most of the upstairs. Is it me, or have you ladies kind of just sort of taken over the whole building over the course of the dozen years? I'm just spitballing here. But.
Yeah, and don't say anything to your brother,
Okay.
but we've totally taken over the downstairs too. It is totally our storage area. We just kind of secretly put things in a little room, and yeah.
Nobody was noticing.
It is pretty much the Apple Blossom building now. Yeah.
And the remodel, I saw the pictures on Facebook. You didn't really realize how out of date and kind of, I don't want to, it was kind of just sort of, and now it looks really cool.
It's crazy, you know, you go to work every day and you just go to work and you sit down at your desk and you do your thing. And I did not realize how old everything was. So, and it was fun, you know, I went through a lot of the old memorabilia, which is a great time to do it with 100th. So we have a lot of stuff to take with us for the festival ball. That'll be happening on May 3rd. So it was kind of fun going through old stuff and taking it to the museum, and it's cool. So come by. Don't come by today. 'Cause
Yeah,
the
don't come
stairs
by
are
today.
getting
They're doing
done.
the stairs.
I say after the 10th of September, come and visit us.
And one more item before we talk about all the cool stuff that's coming up. You got a new staffer.
We do. Her
Yeah.
name is Erin Boatwright, and she's a grad from Eastmont High School. Go Wildcats.
Go Wildcats.
So she's our new events and office assistant. She starts on September 13th. She graduated from Eastmont in 2014, went to Wenatchee Valley College. She just got done doing a year internship with Young Life in North Carolina. So she will be coming home and start her new job on the 13th. So we're
Cool.
super excited. It's kind of weird. She's the same age as my son CJ. And when I hired Jody and Shelly 20 years ago, they were, 20, 22 years old, but I was only 10 years older than them. Now I'm 30 years older than the newbie. So it's kind of a different dynamic, but I'm super, super excited. She stopped by yesterday, and she's just adorable and a ball of energy. So
Was that strictly your call, or did the board play any role in the hiring of your new gal?
Took some board members to help me during the hiring process, which was great. People that tend to work with this person more than other board members, so I had a great team, and it was quite a process. I mean, we had over 200 resumes. So it was that, and
That's got to make you feel good.
it was awesome. I mean, it really did.
Yeah.
But it was, again, this summer, it was this process of going through 200 and narrowing that down to 50, and then narrowing that down to 30. And So it was
That's always good.
interesting. And
I
again,
remember-
something I haven't done for a long time.
Yeah,
So
because
that was kind
you've
of
always had a pretty steady staff.
Everybody's
so.
always kind of moved up, and so it's the first time I really have hired in a long time. So it was kind of a fun. There's so many new internet, Indeed, and Craigslist, and Facebook. It's like, whoo, but it was great.
Yeah, you got to be real careful about your social media presence because they will find you.
Yes, that's
no doubt about that.
Yes.
So anyway, enough of that nonsense. It's a new year. Your year basically starts
September 1.
September 1 and goes through August 31st. So Happy New Year.
Thank you. Yes.
First thing on the agenda is the big royalty auction, right? That's the first big event.
That's our first big event, and we already have about 15 tables sold. The most we can sell for that event is about 40, just because we have so much stuff that has been donated for the silent and live auction. You know, that room's just filled full of stuff. So we already have 15 tables sold. So we're really encouraging people to call us, email me, and get a table, $500 for a table of 10. It's a super fun event, and we'll be adding some special stuff this year with it being the 100th. We'll be honoring the documentary. We'll have some little tidbits from the documentary. So we really encourage people to go. If you haven't donated to the auction in the past, that's a great way to be a sponsor. If you have a cabin that you would like to donate for a weekend or anything in kind, gift certificates, that's a great way to be a sponsor. You give me a $50 gift certificate and you're the friend of the festival, and you'll be honored as a sponsor throughout the whole year. So just call me.
I donated an appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and it sold for 8 cents last year, which was above it. It was supposed to go for just 5 cents.
You didn't do that. That would be a great thing. You need to donate that.
Appear on my show?
Yes.
What do you think? Don't you put a monetary value on it?
Yeah.
What would you?
I don't know.
What I'll do
10
is I'll
cents.
bid on me, and I'll just stare back at the
But
camera
that would be
lens.
a great thing to donate.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Every year there's a theme. What's the theme?
This is a Halloween theme.
Okay.
Dina Bollinger is our Director General for the 100th Festival. So she owns Nancy's Party Rentals and Sales. So of course, every day is a party, which our theme, the party never ends. So she loves Halloween, so it's going to be a Halloween theme. And everyone loves it when we do that. We try to do that every 5 years. So it'll be
I
a fun
emceed
one.
one of those one year, and I dressed as a New York Yankee,
Yes, you
pinstripes
did.
hat, and I was booed.
That was the year I got engaged. I
It
was Belle.
Yes, I remember that. All that subterfuge, working with Jeff and everything, and so how's that working out, by the way?
It's great.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. Let's
yeah.
get Jeff on the phone. See if he... So that's the big auction, and what if you? Okay, I don't want to donate. I just want to go.
You just want to go.
What do you do?
You can go online to appleblossom.org and you can sign up online. It's right there on the homepage, and it's $50 per ticket or a table of 10 for $500.
And you've mixed it up a little bit because in years past it was kind of a half and half, but you've done more silent and less live, right?
We do. You know, as you know, the live can get a little long, so we kind of liven up the silent and have only probably about 12 to 15 live items.
But all the original, all the favorites are back
All
again.
the favorites are back, and then we always try to pull some and put them into silent and add
Plus
some
raffles,
live.
plus Quino
Raffle,
stuff.
Quino.
Yeah.
We do what we call a blossom pack, where you get a Quino, a raffle,
Uh-huh.
a drink ticket, all kinds of fun
So-
stuff in it.
This year's royalty, and I mean this completely sincerely, I'm not snowballing anybody, it was a great royal court. They were wonderful.
They were wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it when my phone doesn't ring about the royalty, and I love it when it does ring and everyone says how wonderful they are. And they were just truly a genuine group. Every place they went, everyone loved them. Every parade, everybody just stared at them and thought they were just the most beautiful princess.
They
and
seemed to
queen ever.
enjoy it, too.
They loved it. And
Yeah.
it is hard, you know, going to 12 festivals every single weekend in the summer, and you literally leave, spend the night, be in the parade, and then come home. So it's, you know, kind of wearing, but they loved every minute of it. Jesse went to Masawa and loved it, so now they're
Jessica
off at
Murray
school.
is who she's talking about, Princess Jessica
Princess
Murray.
Jessie.
Yeah.
She went on to Masawa and had a great time. She was the only one that went and loved it.
But now the girls are off to the next stage in their life.
They're off to college, and
Yeah.
then they'll be home for a pageant to give up their crown to the 100th royalty.
let's transition to how do I begin on the royal court, Darci Christoferson?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I'm a 54-year-old male. I'm not. I don't
you
qualify.
can't do it. But yeah, so senior girls in the Eastmont and Wenatchee School District, public or private, are eligible to participate. You only have to be a senior girl registered this year. Running Start does count. You have to have a 2.75 GPA going into your senior year. So it's your ACUM, the end of your junior year. Basically, you just need to attend a mandatory meeting on November 27th with a parent or guardian. You don't have to attend the same meeting as your parent, but you need to attend one of them, and they need to attend one of them. The meetings are at the Wenatchee Center, and they're at 12 noon, 4 p.m., and 6 p.m. We'll be sending out a letter here in October to remind everybody of all this, but you can go on our website too and check everything out.
And for those of you who are uninitiated to the process, when the girls go to this meeting, what do they get? They get the Darci talk.
We call it Royalty 101. You know, you just learn basically anything and everything that has to do with royalty. We have our accountant there that will go over all the judging and the scoring process for the top 10 and for pageant. Then we have our attorney there that will go over all the code of conduct and what to do and what not to do. And then our chaperones are there. We'll be going over the schedule, how much school you'll be missing. You know, we really encourage girls to take their heavy loads right now if they can, and then in the spring try to take a lighter load, which most of the time that does happen, but the Running Start thing can sometimes be a little more difficult, although Greta was in Running Start and didn't have any issues at all. So just kind of depends on who you are and how organized you are, and that's the biggest key is to be organized and have us help you and your parents help you. And just
it's a lot better way than in my day where you just signed up.
Yeah, you just signed up.
You know, there was no meetings whatsoever like that.
Yep, we just signed up, and that's kind of one of the reasons why we started the mandatory meetings, because when I started this job 25 years ago, we had no mandatory meetings, and I remember my parents going, I didn't know this, I didn't know that, I didn't know this. So we said we needed to really do something to let the parents know how much time commitment this really is.
And the girls too.
And the girls too.
Yeah.
Because I remember saying, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I'd be doing all this, but it was great.
The theme for the centennial, the 100th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, is The Party Never Ends. First of all, I don't know who came up with that, but kudos to them.
I can't remember.
A bunch of folks sitting
we
around
definitely
brainstorming?
wanted something party theme. It was really hard to come up with a theme this year. You know, you didn't want it. You didn't know if you wanted it to be traditional or mushy or have celebration in it. You know, it was really kind of a tough theme to come up with. So we just thought light and fun was kind of more us. So I can't remember who exactly came up with it. I'll give it to Dina.
We'll chalk it up to Dina.
Dina did it.
Yeah, Dina did it. And she's got some big shoes to fill, because I see Andy all the time, Andy Cockcamp, who's the DG of last year's festival. I still think he's recovering because he did such a great job.
He did such a great job, and you know, he was truly honored to represent. You know, he's not from here, and he's from Pendleton, Oregon, and he was truly honored to take on the director generalship, and he just was fun. We had such a great year because of him, and that happens. You know, if you have a great DG, the board loves to follow you, your chair people love to follow you, your volunteers do. It really sets the tone for the year, and he was just awesome.
And for those of you who don't know how it's done, it's all spelled out, so you know a couple of years in advance that is your year. And so Dina has been working her way up to the centennial, and she is going to be the DG for
so she'll be the director general. I know. And then Lori Reed will be for 101, and then Brad Bozette will be for 102. So they all are thinking of their years.
So what else have we missed? We still got a few more minutes to kill. What auction? I'm making my notes here. We talked about the auction, talked about the royalty mandatory. You redid the office. What am I forgetting?
Those are really the main things that we, you know, really are. Sponsorships is another one. You know, we're always looking for new sponsors. So if you are someone, a new business in town, or just somebody that hasn't participated in the festival in the past, $100 makes you a Blossom sponsor, and it's a great way to get involved with the festival. You'll be a sponsor all year long on the website, souvenir program, our app. But with the 100th, you know, there's lots more expenses. We're working on getting new banners, new street banners, and that's a huge expense. People don't understand how much that really costs. And of course, we're going to have our big dance festival ball on Friday of the big weekend on May 3rd. And we're trying to keep the ticket price down so it's affordable for everyone. So that's probably going to be a wash or a loss.
Mm-hmm.
So those are events that we really need sponsors for. So if you could give us $100 or more, that would be a great way to help us out for our 100th.
They had the gala ball for a number of years, and it kind of petered away. Then they brought it back for a couple of years, and it kind of went away again. But it's good to see it. It's coming back.
Yeah, it used to be called the Festival Ball. Then it was the Queen's Ball, and the governor would come and dance the first dance with the Queen on Friday night, and then the parade would be on Saturday. And that's what we're doing again. So we're expecting anywhere from 600 to 700 people to be at the ball. All the past royalties coming back to ride in the parade and to participate in the ball.
Good.
So yeah, I haven't gotten any really no's from anybody. The director generals, the past chancellors, and the past chaperones will also participate. So people are excited about it. So.
Is that going to mean an extra long parade, or are you going to figure out a way so you can get the ladies, the royalty down the parade route without making the parade 7.5 hours
Yeah, we do
long?
it in spurts. So, we will have 72, 73, 74, and 75 in cars, and 4 cars, and they'll go in a bundle. Then we'll do another bundle, and it'll be total chaos, but it'll be, we've done it before. We did it for the 75th. So
I remember
that
that
was
very
my
well.
first year on the board. So I was in charge of the past royalty then. So.
In the short time we have left, what's the latest on the documentary? What do you hear from the
great.
crew at North 40?
I'm just looking for one more sponsor. We raised $135,000. Well, $125,000. I need one more sponsor for $10,000. So if anybody wants to sponsor, you can call me on that one too. I have some ideas still, but
have you seen? Well, we've all seen some footage that Jeff and his crew have made available on a limited basis. But how much of this have you seen?
I haven't seen anything yet. Summer again has been doing other things. I think we're all regrouping again. They have lots of editing, I think, that they've been working on, and then the month of September they'll start interviewing volunteers and royalty and. But I haven't seen anything yet. But I guess I am a part of a group that will get to critique it. Tell them what we think of it. So.
Well, being in this business, we know what editing is all about.
Yeah.
It's extremely time consuming.
And there's so much stuff. I mean, they literally did everything last year. So yeah, there won't be much more filming going on except during pageant. They'll do pageant. They'll probably go to the mandatory meetings again. Just kind of do that top 10 group until pageant.
Leading all up to the world premiere in May.
Yeah, so that's hopefully going to be on Thursday, and we'll just...
Jeff doesn't have to worry about interviewing me about the Apple Blossom Festivals of the early 80s, because I don't remember. But hey, the party never ended, right?
It never ends. Never, ever, ever.
I'll close out with a little story. My brother, Jim, we know him as Pops, you know him, he's back in town. Working for the Port of Chelan County. He hasn't lived in the Wenatchee Valley since he moved away, to go to school and all that stuff. So it would have been 35 years since he'd been to an Apple Blossom Festival. And he came back, of course, for this year's. And he goes, I don't remember it being like this. And he was specifically talking about the beer garden.
I know.
And he was going, this is cool. This is fun. It's like it's not what it was, but it's also better in most respects.
Yeah.
So.
Well, tell him thank you.
Yeah, I will. Well,
we really have tried to, as you know, do that to make it more of a community event than what it was in the 70s, 80s, early 90s.
I quite frankly think it's better than it's ever been.
Yeah.
For one thing, I'm starting to remember portions of the Apple Blossom Festival. And we're very happy to be one of your partners with this, because we've been doing the parades, of course, since the NCW Life Channel went on the air. We did the Kais Fiber Youth Parade and the Smoke Growers Grand Parade. Notice how I always get the sponsors in.
Yes.
And the Les Schwab Classy Chassis Parade. And we've done the royalty selection, the Kashmir Valley Bank royalty selection pageant. See, I'm so good at that. So you've been a great partner to work with. And it's so fun to be part of the Apple Blossom family from a television standpoint, because Darci calls you up and says, can you do this? We go, yeah.
Well, that's what's great, is it is like that. That's what's so exciting about Erin. She's like, I just am so excited to be a part of this family. And that's, what we are.
The party never ends. We're getting ready for the 100th Apple Blossom Festival. Yeah, again, I don't remember the early 80s. Everybody have a great Wednesday. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.